Faith Eclipse, Chapter 1. Awakening. The rain fell in thin sheets over the city, streaking down broken streetlights and pooling in the cracks of the sidewalk. Zeal White pulled his hoodie up against the cold, shoving his hands into his pockets as he walked home from the evening sermon. His father, Irael White, had spoken passionately that night, as he always did, urging the people of their neighborhood to hold on to faith even in the darkest of times. Ziel admired his father's conviction, but tonight, like most nights, he couldn't help but feel distant from it. "Yo, you and your pops still on that church grind?" Marcus, Zeal's best friend, fell into step beside him, hands in his pockets. He smirked, always teasing but never disrespectful. Ziel sighed. "Yeah, you know how he is. Never stops believing, even when the world gives him every reason to." Marcus nodded. "Man's got a heart like a lion, I'll give him that." They turned onto a quiet street, their footsteps echoing against the wet pavement. Ziel barely noticed the two figures leaning against the alley wall until it was too late. "Well, well, if it ain't the preacher's boy," one of them sneered. "Still thinking your prayers are gonna save you." Ziel clenched his jaw. He had been dealing with this since middle school, being called church freak, being singled out for his father's faith. He wasn't the type to back down, and he definitely wasn't the type to turn the other cheek. "Say that again and see what happens," Zeal said evenly, his fists tightening. "Or what? You gonna pray for us?" The second guy laughed, stepping closer. Marcus put a hand on Ziel's shoulder. "Not worth it, bro. Let's go." The students laugh and move on. Ziel storms off, shaking his head in frustration. Later that night, Ziel is home, watching horror movies at home. His father, Irel, walks in. "Why do you always watch this ghoulish, demonic mess?" Ziel responds, "Because it's art, and plus I more so watch it to see how the heroes of the story overcome the terrible situations. Yay, it's art." Irel responds, "If you say so." He then tells Ziel that he should put more time into studying the Lord's Word instead of feeling his head with that a bunch of junk. Ziel lashes out at his father. "That stupid church stuff is ruining my life. I just want a normal life like other normal high school students," Irael replies. "Don't sound so foolish. The life we've been blessed with is only because of the Lord," Ziel responds. "The life? What life? You mean the life in this rundown hood surrounded by crime? The life where I'm made fun of because of your obsession with a bunch of religious nonsense that can't be proven? A life without mom?" Ziel storms out of the house. "Ziel, wait!" Irael goes after to follow him, but Ziel is already off around the block. Ziel walking down the street with his hoodie up, thinking maybe he was a little too harsh towards his father. He just sick of everything things have been going lately. Then suddenly the distant crack of gunfire split the air. His head snapped up. His father. Zeal's feet pounded the pavement before his mind could even process it. His breath came in ragged gasps as he sprinted back towards his house. The glow of streetlights illuminated a terrible scene. His father, Irael, standing before a desperate-looking man with a gun shaking in his hands. "Please, son." Irael's voice was calm, unwavering. "Whatever you're running from, there is another way. Let the Lord help you." The gunman's face twisted. "Shut up, just shut up, and give me the money." Ziel was moving before he could think, before he could scream, before he could stop it. The gun fired, a spray of blood. His father's body staggered backward, time fractured. Ziel saw his father's form crumple to the steps of the church. The world around him blurred, swallowed by a blinding, burning light. His vision was filled with gold and fire, his chest exploding with energy he had never felt before. He could hear his own heartbeat, thundering like war drums. In a flash, Ziel teleports, instantly knocking the gunman into a wall, away from his father's body. And then, Ziel kneeling to comfort Irael. His father's last words drifted through the chaos. "Ziel, Always remain righteous. Remember, faith. Then the ground shook. Instantly, plenty of spiritual beings, shaken by recognizing the return of Michael's presence, shake the realm. A deep, unholy growl resonated through the streets, and from the darkness, figures emerged from the shadows and then from behind the gunman, slicing him into two. Hulking, twisted creatures with burning eyes and claws that scraped the asphalt. Demons. They had come, drawn to the radiant force Zeal had unleashed without understanding how. The light, one hissed. It cannot be. Before they could act, the air rippled, space itself folding. A figure materialized between Zeal and the approaching monsters. Gabriel. The archangel moved like lightning. In a single breath, he ripped through the first demon with his bare hands, golden light searing the creature into nothingness. The others lunged, but Gabriel raised his arm, his mini golden trumpet appearing in his grasp. He blew a single note, resonant, overwhelming, divine. The demons screamed as their bodies disintegrated, leaving only charred remnants where they had stood. Ziel staggered, his vision swimming. The power inside him raged uncontrollably, his very soul burning from within. He fell to his knees, gripping his head as the light surged outward. Gabriel turned to him, his celestial gaze unreadable, thinking to himself, "Yea, there's no mistaking it." He raised the trumpet once more, and with a single powerful note, making Ziel black out. With Gabriel then catching Ziel's body from falling to the ground, retreating, flying him through the night sky like a shooting star. Ziel woke to the sound of the wind whispering through trees. The air smelled fresh, clean, so unlike the city. He sat up, wincing as his body ached in ways he didn't understand. "You're awake." The voice was cold, firm. Ziel turned to see Gabriel standing near the cave entrance, his piercing eyes fixed on the horizon. "Where am I?" Ziel groaned, rubbing his temples. "A safe place." "For now," Gabriel said. "I've spent centuries wondering if he was truly gone." Ziel's eyes narrowed. "What the hell are you talking about? Who are you? And what was that back there?" Gabriel finally turned, his expression hard. "That power inside you, it does not belong to you. It is the essence of Michael, the greatest archangel to ever exist. It has chosen you, and because of that, you are now in the center of a war." Ziel swallowed hard. "Michael? Angels? I must be having a fever dream. Sounds like something my dad used to talk about. Wait, Dad. Where is my dad?" Gabriel looked on. "Your father's soul is no longer amongst the world of the living." Ziel sits in a cold sweat. Tears fill his eyes, regretting the last conversation he had with his father. Ziel felt his chest tighten. "Why me?" Gabriel studied him for a long moment. "That I do not know. But Lucifer will not leave you alone now. You have set events into motion that cannot be undone." Ziel looked down at his hands. They trembled, but whether from fear, rage, or something else entirely, he couldn't tell. He clenched his fists, his father's last words echoing in his mind. "Remain righteous. Remember faith." Ziel exhaled sharply. "I didn't ask for this." Gabriel's expression remained cold. "It doesn't matter. The war has begun, and you have no choice but to fight." Chapter 2. Training on the rocky peak. Gusts of wind whip around them. The sun casts long golden rays across the hard and partially grassy terrain. The silence feels ancient. The air hums with spiritual energy. Gabriel stands with his back to the Ziel, facing the vast expanse below. Ziel is behind him, arms crossed, clearly irritated. Ziel speaks, "This is a waste of time. I'm not playing Angel Boot Camp." Gabriel turns slightly, his gold eyes unreadable. Wind tugs at his robe and wings. He speaks calmly, without turning fully. Gabriel speaks. "You don't have the luxury of running from this." Ziel scowls, fists clenched, his teeth grit. Ziel, you don't get to tell me what to do. Ziel lunges and throws a punch at Gabriel's face. The next moment, his fist connects, but Gabriel doesn't move an inch. No flinch, no change in expression. Ziel recoils, clutching his hand in pain. His expression shows both shock and frustration. Ziel. God damn it. Gabriel looks at Ziel, utterly unmoved. Gabriel, you're too weak to carry Michael's power. Right now, it will destroy you from the inside, or make you a target to every demon crawling out of hell. His eyes glint with celestial light. He takes a step closer, tone firm but not cruel. Gabriel, if you don't train, you will die, either by them or by the light within you. Ziel lowers his head slightly. The wind howls. His posture is still defiant, but now less certain. A storm brews inside him. The wind settles slightly. Ziel is still nursing his fist, eyes narrowed. Gabriel turns his gaze skyward briefly, as if sensing something beyond. Gabriel, red hair, gold eyes, black and gold hooded robe, golden wings, halo, lifts one hand toward the sky, fingers glowing with divine energy. Golden symbols swirl into the air around them like ancient scripts etched in light. Gabriel, calmly, will need privacy. From above, a massive golden dome of light expands rapidly from Gabriel's hand, engulfing the mountain summit. The air warps around them like heat waves. Birds flee from nearby peaks. Everything goes silent inside the barrier. Ziel, white anime-style hair, black hoodie, dark blue jeans, black Converse, squints upward, shielding his eyes slightly as the barrier settles like glass made of light. His earlier anger is tinged with unease. Ziel, thinking, he's not bluffing. Gabriel lowers his hand. The golden aura around his body dims slightly, but he still radiates controlled, unimaginable power. Gabriel. This will conceal our presence. No one can sense us here. Not angel, not demon. Ziel's glare softens just a bit. He knows he has nowhere to run. The wind outside the barrier howls against the dome like a distant storm, but inside all is still. Ziel, muttering, "Shh, fine, but I'm not calling you sensei." The barrier still stands around the field like a divine dome. The golden glow pulses faintly under the rising sun. Ziel stands at the starting point, stone in hand, eyes heavy with exhaustion. Day 2. Same drill, same stone. No progress. Ziel throws the stone once more and sprints forward. He dives, misses. The rock thuds on the ground, dust scattering. His fingers clench the soil, teeth grinding. He's breathing hard, trembling with bottled-up emotion. Ziel thinking, I don't get it. What am I missing? Gabriel stands at the opposite edge, arms crossed, silent. He watches Ziel without speaking, eyes calm but focused. We see a soft focus memory of Irael, Ziel's father, preaching passionately to a small community. His voice powerful, his smile full of faith. Ziel, as a small child, stands by his side, eyes bright with admiration. Tears well in Ziel's eyes, but don't fall. His expression warps, pain, anger, confusion flooding in. Ziel thinking to himself, you believed so hard, you gave everything, and it still didn't save you. Ziel's fingers tighten around the stone. A faint, golden shimmer begins to flicker across the surface, his spiritual energy beginning to awaken unknowingly. Gabriel senses the shift in energy. His normally unreadable expression flashes with brief intrigue. Gabriel thinking, he's channeling it, unconsciously. Ziel shouts as he hurls the rock with all his strength. The stone blazes with raw, unfiltered spiritual energy. His eyes glow faintly gold as it leaves his hand. Why did you have to die? Ziel shouts. The moment the rock hits the opposite end, there's a burst of divine energy. The barrier doesn't bend. It shatters, exploding in a brilliant light. Shards of golden energy spiral into the air like glass breaking across the sky. Zyle drops to his knees again, panting. Dust and light swirl around him. His hands are still glowing faintly, and the air crackles with energy. Gabriel walks through the haze, expression unreadable again, but there's the hint of a nod, acknowledgement. Gabriel speaks, "Now we begin." Gabriel floats down from where he'd hovered outside the shattered barrier, arms crossed, golden eyes fixed on Zyle. Dust from the broken energy dome still sparkles faintly in the air. Zyle: "My dad believed more than anyone I know. He prayed every day. He helped people no matter what. So why'd he die like that?" Gabriel, calm but firm: "I don't have the answers." Zyle looks up, jaw tight, pain behind his gold-tinged eyes. Gabriel turns away slightly. "Faith doesn't guarantee safety. Sometimes it's the ones with the strongest light who suffer the deepest." He pauses, gaze distant for a beat, then refocuses sharply on Zyle. Gabriel looks ahead. "But this isn't about fairness. You're carrying Michael's essence now. The clock's ticking. You want to survive? Then finish the training." Zyle lowers his head, lips pressed in a thin line, still simmering with grief and doubt, but not walking away. Mountain Plateau. The next morning. The wind is calm, the shattered barrier from yesterday now restored and humming faintly in the distance. Gabriel stands at the center of the field, arms folded, while Zeal stretches his sore arm nearby, eyeing him with quiet frustration. Gabriel, without turning: "You're strong, but power without precision is chaos, and chaos will destroy you before anything else ever gets the chance." Zeal grumbles: "So what's next? You want me to punch a mountain in half or something?" Gabriel holds up a single golden feather between two fingers. Its edges shimmer with divine energy. Then he tosses it gently into the air. It begins to fall, slowly. Gabriel, voice sharp: "Catch it. Without using your hands." Zeal blinks. "Huh?" Gabriel, serious: "Catch it with your spiritual energy. Wrap it, guide it. Don't let it touch the ground. If it hits the earth, you start over." Zeal, eye twitching: "You've got to be kidding me." Gabriel: "Do it blindfolded." Challenge mechanics. Zeal must sense the feather's energy without seeing it. Then extend his spiritual pressure in a controlled, delicate way to catch and suspend it midair. If his energy flares too strong, the feather is incinerated. If he's too slow, it hits the ground. It starts with a feather, but Gabriel hints that eventually he'll have to do this with moving threats, or even protect others in battle without harming them. Campfire rest. Early morning. The air is still, early morning sun warming the rocky terrain. A small fire crackles, and beside it sits a wrapped bundle of food: flatbread, dried fruit, and roasted meat. Zyle is seated on a flat boulder, his hoodie slung over his shoulder, hair messy, face tired. Gabriel stands a few feet away, facing the horizon, arms crossed. He doesn't say a word. Zyle, grabbing the food: "Took you long enough to remember I'm human." He bites into the meat, chewing slowly, eyes scanning the sky as if hoping for answers. "It's been days." Gabriel, calmly: "You were too angry to eat." Hunger teaches humility. Zyle, mouth full, muttering: "Yeah, well, next time teach me with breakfast." A pause. Zyle sets the food down, staring into the fire. "Zyle, did they bury my dad?" He looks up at Gabriel, brows furrowed with real pain. Gabriel doesn't answer right away. The flames crackle softly in the silence. Eventually, he turns his head slightly, just enough to be heard. Gabriel: "Yes, your father was laid to rest properly. Even though the community had little, they came together and made sure of it. He was honored." Gabriel, after a moment: Your disappearance was reported. You're listed as missing, but your father's funeral was full. People came. They remembered him. Zial's eyes dropped to the fire again. His fingers tighten slightly on the flatbread before relaxing. A strange quiet settles over him, an ache, but also a flicker of peace. Zeal, softly. Good. He deserved that. The mountain summit is quiet again, the golden barrier restored after the previous trial. The wind is mild, the sky painted in soft morning blues. Gabriel stands at one end of the barrier, expression calm as ever. Zeal sits barefoot near the center of the stone field, legs crossed, a blindfold over his eyes, wearing a dirty white shirt. A small golden feather rests in Gabriel's hand, glowing faintly with divine energy. In his other hand he holds a tiny silver bell. Gabriel raising the bell. Gabriel gently rings the bell. Ting, a soft, clear chime echoing through the air. Gabriel, softly, "It's falling." He releases the feather. It drifts down gently, its path calm and unpredictable. Blindfolded. Ziel sits motionless, brow twitching in frustration. His spiritual energy flickers unevenly around him. Ziel, thinking, "This is so stupid." The feather brushes the earth. Instantly it lifts itself back into the air, drawn magically to Gabriel's hand. The same cycle over and over. Bell chimes, feather falls, Ziel reaching out with unstable energy. Feather hitting the ground, back to Gabriel's hand. Gabriel speaks, again. Gabriel speaking, firmly. Gabriel stands unmoving, his tone calm but sharp. Gabriel, calm yourself. Feel it enter your spiritual presence. Do not grasp it. Hold it. Zeal failing with anger. Zial's aura flares up in frustration. The feather bursts into flames mid-air. Zial, growling. "Ugh, this is pointless." Gabriel silently replaces it with another feather. Late afternoon, day 2. The sun hangs low in the sky. Zial still sits blindfolded, shoulders tense. But something shifts. Zial's thoughts drift. Instead of focusing, Zial lets his mind wander. His spiritual pressure softens. Zial thinking, "Mom?" Soft, blurred memories begin to swirl. Zial, at 2 years old, laughing, the sound of his mother's voice like music. He can't see her face clearly. Just warmth, just love. A kind of peace he barely remembers. Zial, in deep thought, "I don't even know what she looked like that day, but I remember how it felt, like sunlight, like home." Gabriel watches Ziel with quiet intensity. The aura around Ziel is no longer erratic. It flows, gentle but steady. The golden feather hovers in front of Ziel's face, perfectly still mid-air. It pulses with his energy, but it isn't burning or falling. There you have it. Impressive. Ziel slowly lifts the cloth from his eyes. He blinks, startled. The feather floats calmly just inches from his nose, held in place by his own presence. Ziel in awe. Whoa! Ziel watches the feather hovering in front of him, golden light gently pulsing. His expression is somewhere between awe and confusion. Gabriel walks toward him slowly, the crunch of his bare feet on gravel the only sound. Gabriel looks down at Ziel, hands folded behind his back, calm as ever. Ziel, quietly, How did I do that?" Gabriel's golden eyes are steady. He doesn't gloat. He doesn't praise with warmth. But his voice is clear, composed, and purposeful. "Gabriel, you stopped fighting." Ziel tilts his head, still catching his breath. "Ziel, that's it?" Gabriel stands across from Ziel, letting the silence linger before speaking again. "Gabriel, when you focused only on the task, you tried to conquer it. When you were angry, you tried to burn it. But it was only when you let go, when you allowed yourself to feel something real, something human, that your energy flowed freely." The feather floats between them as Gabriel speaks, Ziel listening intently. "Gabriel, This power wasn't meant to be tamed by force. It responds to who you are, to what you carry inside. Ziel stares down at his hands. They're steady now. No glow, no heat, just calm. Ziel thinking, her memory helped me do it. He closes his eyes, breathes in deep. Ziel, so the next time, I try with intention. Not control. Gabriel, now you understand. Midday. The sun blazes overhead. The golden barrier surrounds the lush training field. Ziel stands across from Gabriel, barefoot in a dirty white shirt, and he cracks his neck, already bouncing on his feet with excitement and nerves. Gabriel is barefoot too, arms at his sides, his black and gold robe flowing lightly in the breeze. His expression remains unreadable as always. Ziel, grinning, excited. I'm no stranger to a fight, so... We're finally throwing hands, huh? Gabriel, calm. You'll be the only one throwing. I'll be guiding. Action begins. Ziel darts in with quick footwork, clean form, fast hands. He throws a sharp combo, jab, hook, feint, then sweeps low with a leg kick. Gabriel steps around it like water, not even a robe shift. Gabriel, flatly. Good instinct. Too much tension in your shoulders. Ziel, dodging back. Bro, you're not even trying. Gabriel, shrugging slightly. I'm not. Panel. They reset. Ziel wipes sweat from his brow. Breath picking up, excitement in his eyes. Ziel. Okay, but... Real question. Are demons like just horns and red skin, or are there types? 'Cause I've seen movies with body snatchers, goat men, freaky shadow creatures. Gabriel sidesteps a strike. There are types. Not all demons are physical. Some infect thought. Others twist nature. The worst don't show themselves until it's too late. Ziel, grinning like a horror nerd. That's sick. So like, hell has categories. Like levels of cursed freaks. Gabriel, dodging a flying kick mid-sentence. Yes, but stop talking. Focus on your feet. Gabriel lightly redirects Ziel's energy. Ziel lunges with full commitment. Gabriel shifts just enough to redirect the momentum with 2 fingers. Ziel flips, lands on his back, groaning. Ziel, wheezing. Okay, that was kind of disrespectful, Gabriel replies. You were open. You left your center unguarded. Again. Ziel, as he gets up, still smiling. So like, are Wendigos a thing, or is that just Hollywood? Gabriel, pausing briefly. Many things may be fictional, but everything has a factual source. Ziel. But seriously, like possession demons, are those real? What about the ones that mess with dreams? Gabriel. Certainly. Gabriel stops. Then he steps forward. But if you can't keep your footing in a clean field of grass, you won't survive meeting any of them. Ziel on the ground, catching his breath. Ziel lies in the grass, arms spread, chest rising and falling. The sky above him is clear and endless. Ziel, muttering. You didn't even swing. Gabriel's silhouette looms above, golden wings faintly shifting in the breeze. His tone is unreadable, neither mocking nor impressed. Just truth. Gabriel. Your strength means nothing without control. You lunge like a predator but leave your back exposed like prey. Ziel rolling onto his side, groaning Ziel. Yeah, well, next time maybe pretend to struggle a little. Gabriel, turning away, walking off. Toward the edge of the field, Gabriel, without turning. Rest. You'll need it. Tomorrow we move faster. Ziel lying in the grass, looking up at the sky. The sun shines down through the golden barrier. Ziel squints, eyes thoughtful. Ziel thinking to himself, guess I really got to level up. Chapter 3. Post-Training. Mountain Summit Departure. Gabriel stands at the cliff's edge, golden wings extended behind him. Ziel approaches from the background, looking worn but stronger. his posture more focused. Gabriel, we're done here. There's something we need to retrieve. Zael raises an eyebrow. Another lesson? Gabriel, firm. Number. A mission. There's a city to the east, one lost to old silence. A holy artifact is buried there. We leave now. Gabriel takes flight. Gabriel kneels slightly and launches into the sky, wings blazing with light. He reaches a hand down toward Zeel. Zeel grabs his hand. Zeel grabs Gabriel's arm. His face shows a mix of nervousness and reluctant trust. Both in flight, Gabriel soars through the sky with Zeel held tight, flying across a sea of clouds and mountains below, heading toward the distant Middle Eastern city of Khemballa. Arrival at the city gates of Khemballa. Daytime, city exterior. An ancient Middle Eastern city of Khemballa with domed rooftops, sun-baked sandstone buildings, and narrow alleyways stretches into the horizon. Merchants work beneath cloth awnings, and townspeople move through the streets. Gabriel and Zeel enter. Gabriel, inconspicuous, wings and halo invisible, walks beside Zeel, who wears a brown hooded robe and red scarf. Zeel's eyes scan the environment cautiously. Zeel's eyes catch a group of armed guards at a checkpoint. He tugs his hood lower. Zeel, thinking, this place feels tense. Gabriel glancing around. Gabriel's expression remains unreadable, but his golden eyes flick briefly toward a crumbling cathedral tower in the distance. Gabriel departs. To search. Gabriel, speaking to Zeel. They stand in a quiet street corner. Gabriel turns to Zeel. Gabriel, stay here. I'll search the far side of the city. Keep a low profile. Gabriel disappearing. Gabriel vanishes down a narrow passage between buildings. Zeel alone. Zeel watches him go, pulling his hood up as he begins walking through the crowded streets. Suddenly, Zeel sees three rugged men chase a young teen boy through an alley. The boy clutches a loaf of bread, barefoot, fear in his eyes. Zael steps in. Zael blocks the path between the boy and the attackers. He stands firm, scarf blowing in the wind. One of the men lunges. Zael intercepts him, then effortlessly, disarming and knocking down the three men. One of the men then shouts, "Thafe," pointing to the boy. The boy catches his breath, staring wide-eyed at Zael, who then takes and tosses the stolen bread back to the attackers. Zael, stealing is wrong, but no one deserves to die over it. Zael then opens his bag and hands over food to the boy. Zael then says, "Hi, my name is Zael. What's yours?" The boy looks stunned, then smiles gratefully. "Thank you. I'm very grateful. And my name is Kylef." Next, Zeel. Watching a local game, kids play street soccer using sandals as goalposts. Kylef kicks a worn ball with skill. Grinning at Zeel, "You don't have this back home, do you?" says Kiliaf Zeel. "We do. Kinda. But not like this. Is this even regulation?" Kiliaf, laughing. "Only rule is, don't cry when I score." Zeel awkwardly tries to play defense. Kiliaf flicks the ball past him and sprints by. Zael stumbles, regains balance, and chases him with a half-smile. Mid-game pause. They're both winded, laughing, sitting on a stone ledge sipping water. Nearby, kids continue kicking the ball around. Zael, catching his breath, "You're fast for a thief." Kiliaf replies, "Survival is cardio." Quiet moment looking out. They both laugh. A quiet moment follows. Zael looks out at the old city, light dancing off domed rooftops. Zael, softly, "Feels kinda normal." Kiliaf, grinning, "Told you. You just needed a good game." Quiet side street. Zeel and Kiliaf walk side by side down a quieter street, the bustle of the market behind them. Zael glances at Kiliaf, curious. "Zael, you live out here on your own?" Kiliaf, quietly, "Yeah. Been that way for a while. My parents, they were killed. A gang came through months ago, took everything, burned the place. Zael frowning, Zael's expression shifts, sympathy growing on his face. Zael, damn, that's rough. Kylef, nodding. I survived, did what I had to, stole, hid, slept in alleys. Then one day a priest came, promised protection, promised not much but some stability. All he asked the me and my people for was, give our praise the holy Gaki. Panel 3. Zeal raises an eyebrow. Zael slows his pace slightly. Zeal. Gaki. Never heard my father mention that one Kiliaf, pointing toward the cathedral, a tall, gloomy cathedral in the distance. Kiliaf says, yeah, that's his place. I know it's holy, but I don't know. Something about it still gives me chills. Eerie cathedral appears in the distance. Zael and Kylef arrive and enter the cathedral. The air is dim, lit only by flickering candles lining the stone walls. Humming echoes low and constant. People sit in pews, eyes forward, their faces unnervingly calm. Zael, scanning the room, Zael glances around, unsettled. His brow furrows. He notices a woman bump into him without reacting or acknowledging him. Close up on Zael's expression. Zael's eyes narrow slightly. He doesn't say it aloud, but something feels wrong. Too quiet, too still. Nothing like his father's church. On the stage, the priest of Gaki appears. The priest stands at the altar, arms raised. His smile is wide but lacks warmth. Priest, the great Gaki watches over us. Through him we are blessed with harvest, with wealth, with promise. Medium shot, Zael listening. Zael folds his arms, leaning slightly toward Khalif. Zael thinking, this ain't right. Dad preached about justice. This feels like control. The priest arms raised as he gazes out over the crowd. The humming grows louder. Candles flicker like breath. Something beneath the surface waits. Beneath the city underground ruins, Gabriel walks through the remains of a ruined bathhouse beneath the city, faint traces of ancient holy symbols etched into stone columns. Gabriel kneels by a mosaic, who brushes dust off a cracked mosaic of a faceless angel. Its name has been chiseled away, but remnants of divine power linger. Gabriel, thinking, angelic residue mixed with corruption. Something was hidden here, but not anymore. Glowing thread of energy, a thin wisp of energy, trails back towards the cathedral. Gabriel, thinking, the trail ends. There. Panel 4. Gabriel standing in shadow. He turns his head, eyes narrowing, unaware of what Zeal is walking into. After the sermon, Ziel and Kylef are led through a side passage into a private room lit by blue flame torches. The priest awaits them, hands folded. The priest speaks. Welcome, my children. How are you this evening? He then points to Ziel. You. There's something about your light. It shines through even your robe. Ziel's guard, up. Ziel keeps a neutral expression, but his body tenses. Ziel says, your sermon, it didn't feel right. You talk about wealth, harvest. My father talked about justice, truth. Priest leans forward. Smiling, the priest's smile widens, more predatory than before. The priest replies, justice is only for those with power. Truth bends to whoever speaks loudest. But you could have both. Give your light to Gaki. He will reward you beyond your dreams. Ziel questions him. Further, Ziel narrows his eyes. Ziel says, if everything here is so good, why are people going missing? Why does the city feel scared behind all the smiles? Priest still smiling. The priest's smile doesn't waver, but his eyes darken. There will always be sacrifices in order to maintain peace. Sudden pain, Ziel flinches, hand moving to his side. Blood pours beneath his fingers. Zeal, strained. What the hell? Kyleaf. Holding a bloody knife, Kyleaf stands behind him, trembling with excitement. Kyleaf. I had to. Gaki promised me food, wealth. I won't starve again. Just die. Give him the light. Zael backhands. Kyleaf Zael strikes Kyleaf away and staggers back, holding his wound. The priest transforms. The priest's mouth grows, distorts. He lunges forward, bites down, and rips off Kyleaf's arm. Ziel, in horror Ziel, still in pain, watches helplessly as Kyleaf screams. Gaki's monstrous reveal, in his monstrous demon form, lifts Kyleaf in one clawed hand. His grotesque face splits open. Gaki, these people, they are mine. They worship because I make them. I feed on their spirits, their fear. They are my livestock. Kyleaf, in shock, still conscious, hears this. His wide eyes fill with terror and betrayal. Kyleaf, shaking. Whoa, what? Gaki devours Kyleaf in one horrifying motion. Kyleaf, screaming, I'm sorry, help Everything burns white as Zeal's light erupts. The stone floor fractures. Smoke swirls through the shattered cathedral chamber. The ground cracks beneath Zeal's knees as golden white light begins seeping from his skin. Zeal's hands begin to glow. Zeal grips his side, but the wound begins to close rapidly. His veins pulse with divine energy. Tears fall, but his expression hardens. Zeal shouts, Why? Why did you do that to him? Zeal's glowing eyes erupt in radiant gold, ringed by a faint electric blue. The same aura spills out from his body like a storm building. Waves of light blast outward. Gaki recoils, shielding himself. Gabriel feels it while flying towards the cathedral ruins. Back to Ziel. His fists blaze with holy white fire. Ziel, calm but fierce. You used them. You devoured him. You're going to pay. Gaki laughs, taunting. Gaki's massive form looms in the cathedral's ruins. Gaki speaks. So this is the light I tasted. Magnificent. Come then, boy, let me have it all. The clash begins. Zael launches forward with explosive force. Gaki meets him in mid-air. Holy fire clashes against demonic smoke. The cathedral above them begins to crumble. Gabriel watches from above. Gabriel floats just above the chaos, arms to his side, wings spread. Gabriel, thinking, the barrier's up. I could easily break it, but no. He needs this. Let him stand. Colliding blows, Ziel strikes Gaki's face with a blinding punch. Gaki reels but slashes back, only for Zael to constantly dodge the battle. Intensifies, Zael darts through the air like a streak of golden white lightning, weaving through rubble and pillars, landing hits between evading claws. Explosive impact. Zael slams Gaki down through a collapsed pillar. Dust and light engulf the area. The young angel's wrath has just begun. Gaki's massive, grotesque mouth opens. Kyleaf's voice echoes from within, pleading. Kyleaf's voice speaking, Zael, help me. Zael pauses, then falters, eyes narrowing as he sees Kyleaf's twisted face, smiling inside Gaki's throat. Kyleaf's face, eerily, Come inside, Zael. It's complete bliss in here. Kyleaf's mouth opens and shoots a spear straight toward Zael's head. Zael catches it with pressure. In a blur, Zael catches the spear mid-air, directly infant of his face, with spiritual energy. The feather training flashes through his mind. Gabriel, still watching overhead, allows the faintest smirk. Zeal backhands the spear, then catches it in his hand. Zeal's hand glows with blue-gold light as he throws the spear with full force like he did with the rock training. The spear blasts through Gaki's demonic form, shattering the illusion of Kyleaf and piercing through his distorted faces. Gaki roars in rage, his body writhes, smoke and corrupted energy spewing from him. Gaki, wounded, lunges in desperation, shouting, "I will devour your light!" Zyle, shouting, "If you want the light, have it!" Zyle's holy barrage launches himself into Gaki, fists blazing. A rapid series of holy light punches shattering Gaki's demonic form. Zeal spins midair, his last punch glows like a bright star, powerful, striking Gaki's core. A shockwave of gold and white explodes, completely evaporating Gaki as he screeches. Silence. As dust and energy swirl, Gaki is no more. The purple barrier cracks and vanishes. Cathedral ruins. The sky clears. The locals begin to stir, freed from Gaki's trance. Zael collapsing. Zael falls to the ground on his back, breathing heavy, eyes toward the sky. Gabriel descends slowly from above, wings spread in golden radiance. He lands beside Zael and surveys the scene, expression calm. Gabriel speaks. "Impressive work." Zael speaks to Gabriel. "How was the vacation?" Gabriel reaches into the cracked ground where Gaki was vanquished and retrieves a glowing ancient artifact. Zeal watches him with tired eyes, light fading from his body. Zeal, softly, "What is that thing?" Gabriel replies. "We'll find out,"